Good morning and welcome to our webinar on how to get Disadvantaged Business Enterprise or DBE certified. My name is James Forrest. I am the program coordinator for Norcal PTAC, and we have Liz Brazil, who is one of our procurement specialists with Norcal PTAC. And we're very lucky to have partnered with the Women's Business Center network today. So I'm going to talk a bit about PTAC in a second, who we're supposed to the webinar. But I want to give a platform to our excellent partners here who can take it away a little bit. So we'll get to the presentation in a minute. So first here is Darlene Neal, who is the Director for Women's Business Center.
Good morning and welcome everyone to today's webinar. We're excited to have you join us. And I want to thank PTAC for the wonderful work that they do here to support women. And for New America, we are a nonprofit organization focused on women entrepreneurs with starting your business, growing their business. And as a resource, we are here to assist. So welcome to contact us. Our information is there. You can see my email address and phone number. We're available Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and can work to your schedule. And again, our goal is to really be here as a resource for the community. And I'd like to also introduce Nina Gibbs, who is also part of the Women's Business Center, and she'll talk more about her center. Thank you.
Unmute. There we go. Thank you, Darlene. My name is Nina Gibbs, and I'm also with the Women's Business Center. We're hosted at JEDI, Jefferson Economic Development Institute, and I'm just going to take a minute to tell you what we do and who we serve, so you know whether you should contact us for help. We are, like I said, a Women's Business Center program hosted at JEDI. We have offices in Mount Shasta and in Redding, California. We provide services across far Northern California and even beyond in some cases. We help both men and women, even though we're called a Women's Business Center, we can help anyone. And what we do is provide consulting and advising to people who are starting a business, who are an established business in business needing help, or even exiting your business, which we've seen some of in the last couple of years. We do have some specific areas we offer advising in. Those include writing a business plan, getting started in business, finding capital for your business, whether it's financing, grants, loans, etc., accounting, bookkeeping, and tax planning. We have exceptional advisors around marketing and sales. And we also have advisors who help with human resources, HR, making that first hire, and operations, plus additional things, but that gives you a good picture. All of our consulting is no cost and always will be no cost. In addition to that one-on-one no-cost consulting, we offer different programs, lots of trainings, lots of workshops, lots of webinars. We have some on-demand webinars that you can access at any time of the day or night on our training website. And then we also have some really strong leadership programs that are specifically designed for women. Our email address is there on the slide, info@e-jedi.org. I will put that in the chat as well. So if you'd like to contact us for services, I welcome you to do that. And thank you for inviting us to be here today.
And Darlene, did you want to do this slide?
Yes, and so just to share with you, the California Women Business Centers, we are represented across the county and account state here in California. And so we have a network of women business centers with over 100 centers that are here to support you through educational services, with webinars, with training, one-on-one coaching. And our goal is to really help you where you are at this point in time in your business entrepreneurship. So again, we're here to serve, and this just gives you some information. You can visit the California WBC.org website to see if there's a WBC in your area to support you. You're welcome to contact us as well. And if we can assist you and help you find a location that's closer to you, we're willing to do that as well. So again, you have a plethora of support here from the Women Business Centers. Thank you.
All right, and thank you to Nina and Darlene for being excellent partners. We're always really happy to work with you guys, and very lucky to have this, like she said, plethora of resources. So you can't beat these good free services. So speaking of good free services, we are Norcal PTAC. We are the Northern California Procurement Technical Assistance Center. I'm gonna go really quickly through this. I didn't mention that this is Women's Business Month, Small Business Month specifically. So that is part of why we've partnered with these WBC centers for this series of webinars. And so we're really excited to be offering webinars that are related to small business owners who are women. So what we do, we are a nonprofit as well. We helped our clients win more than $314 million in 2020. So we like helping people get government contracts specifically. WBCs do general business advising, things like that. We do specifically government contracting. So the topic of today is going to be DBE certification. It's a very specific type of certification that you won't really want or need unless you're interested in contracting. So if you're not interested in contracting, you are in the wrong place today, but you're welcome to work with the WBC. But we are contracting specialists with the government agencies. We help our clients with one-on-one counseling, so you can meet once you apply. If you're in our service area, you have an established business, you can apply and meet with Liz Brazil, for instance, or one of our procurement specialists. They can go over just about any topic and coach you through how to do business with the government, whether that's city, county, tribal, federal, state, you name it, different government levels. Can also help you set up a custom bid matching profile. This basically collects a bunch of bid opportunities that are relevant to the criteria that you work out with your procurement specialist. And so those are our two main client benefits that we can do for our clients. And we've got a whole bunch of other resources for our clients specifically. And we also have a lot of resources for folks that are not in our client database and don't necessarily need to be in our service area or even in California. So I know there's folks here from Texas and et cetera. I would suggest going into our website, taking a look at our calendar to see upcoming events like this one. You can also go under the resources tab. There's a whole bunch of resources on California contracting, federal contracting, a list of different cities and counties in California where how to do business with them, things like that. And you will also find a past webinars button there. So today, this webinar is being recorded. The recording as well as the slides will be sent out to everyone and posted to that resources tab. And there are dozens and dozens of webinars on there. Pretty much every webinar we've done in the last several years. So it's a wealth of knowledge there. So I recommend going and checking that out. If you're not in our service area and you wish that you were, well, I don't blame you, but there are lots of PTACs across the country. There's 94, 95 of them. And that second link there that you'll get with the slides later today will bring you to a page where you can find your local PTAC. I also find you can just type in the name of your state, the name of your county, and the letters PTAC. Always comes up with the correct resource for me. Do a little cross-referencing. But yeah, that's who we are. My phone number, my email address, our institutional information on the bottom there. Reach out to us if you have any questions about service, if you need help with the application process. Otherwise, just get started. Go to our website, norcalptac.org, and click on that red apply now button. That is how we let folks in. So I'm going to hand things over to Liz right now. So this is Liz Brazil. She's one of our excellent procurement specialists, and we're very lucky to have her on the team and putting together all this information. So thanks, Liz, and thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you, James. Do I have control? James?
Go ahead and find out.
Perfect. Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time from your busy schedules to join us for this DBE webinar. My name is Liz Brazil, as James mentioned. I'm a Norcal PTAC procurement specialist. There's many counselors within Norcal PTAC. I'm just one of them. We have an average of 35 years working for various agencies. I alone have 35 years working for transportation agencies and retired in 2019. The last agency I worked for was the Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority, or sometimes referred to as VTA. VTA is a certifying member of the California Unified Certification Program. I manage the DBE program and tasked with the DBE certification, the goal setting, reporting of awards and utilization, and various aspects of outreach to small and disadvantaged business enterprise. I had the opportunity to review the DBE applications for almost 8 years. I had made the determinations whether to grant or deny certification based on the federal regulations. Back in 2018, we decided to streamline the process and also save paper and make this whole application process more secure. VTA and the LA Metro was the first two agencies to launch a web-hosted certification application referred to as B2G now. Later on March 2021, the California UCP actually adopted the system that is now used for all certifying members. You will learn more about the system in this presentation. But before we get started, James have a poll that I would like you to consider and take. So James, and let me know when you're done.
Liz, you can keep talking
Okay.
while they finish the poll. and we'll
Before
launch
we
it in a
get
second.
started, this webinar is how to get DBE certified. DBE certification normally takes 2 to 3 hours, but because of the constraint on time, I'm going to try to give you an overview. Probably take around 35 to 40 minutes. I will not be able to go in great detail and try to cover this webinar within that time period, and make sure that you have enough time for question and answers. Actually, there's so many documentation that you have. I can take 30 minutes alone on personal network, but we'll go through that. And hopefully the takeaway here is you'll learn about the DBE program, learn about the eligibility requirements, and also consider applying for DBE certification. All right, are we done with our poll, James?
Yeah, let's go ahead and I just ended it, and I'm going to share the results right now so we can go over them.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Okay, well, let's get started.
Well, let's go over the poll. So it looks like only a little people are quite familiar. Most people are slightly familiar. We've got a few people who have heard of it and don't know, and some folks who are just really not sure what's going on. And you are all welcome in this webinar. Hopefully you all get something out of it. So we'll see. We'll check in again at the end to see how you're feeling about it. All right.
All right, let's get started. James, I lost control.
All you need to do is click on the screen to regain control.
Okay, I'd like to read this disclosure. The information provided herein is accurate to the best of my ability at the time of this presentation. Some or all of the provisions mentioned herein could or may be changed by the current administration with or without prior notice. The objectives of this presentation is to learn about the DBE program. And the biggest takeaway is probably to learn about your eligibility requirements and the application itself. So we're going to go through the history and a lot of these areas to learn about the DBE program. All right. The DBE program was part of the Civil Rights Act. It started out in 1983. And from then on, there was rulings that amended the program. The last ruling was the Uniform Certification Application and Reporting, and also Interstate Certification. Move that. The program objectives is to help remove barriers, to have a fair, even playing field, to promote the use of DBEs in all types of federally assisted contracts, to assist the development of firms that can compete successfully in the marketplace outside of the DBE program, and to provide appropriate flexibility for recipients of federal financial assistance. What is the DBE? Just like anything else, we have federal regulations stating exactly how it's defined. So a DBE is defined in the 49 Code of Federal Regulations. It's referred to as CFR Part 26. DBEs are for profit small business concerns where socially and economically disadvantaged individuals own at least 51% and also control and manage the daily business operations. You know, I gotta remove this because I can't see this. It's too bad I can't put it away. Eligibility requirements, ownership. Your business must be 51% owned by socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. Socially disadvantaged is women, and that's why it's so important for you, if you're a women-owned business, to take advantage of this. There are some persons who are not members of the above groups, and you have to refer to Appendix E to 49 CFR Part 26 to get more information on that section. But socially disadvantaged includes female, Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, Native Americans, Asian Pacific, and subcontinental Asian Pacific Americans. That's a mouthful. This includes personal network. The 51% majority owner must not exceed PNW of 1.32 million. Control, and I will get more into details about control. 51% owner must possess a required license or credential if required by law to own and control a certain type of firm. Independence, only an independent business may be certified as a DBE. Business size standards, 3-year average gross receipts cannot exceed 26.29 million, and it varies by industry. So professional services, the business size standards is smaller, construction is larger. And this is soon to be expanded to 5-year average. Now, every state have a unified certification program. The California CUCP has agencies that's a certifying members. As I mentioned in my introduction, VTA, my former work, was a certifying agency member. We operate under one agreement. It's a one-stop shopping certification for small minority and women seeking to participate in the DBE program. Now, if you want to learn about the DBE program, you can check on this link. This is the U.S. Department of Transportation. And also, we have the hard copy or online copy of the Uniform Certification Application and a copy of the Personal Network Statement. But the CUCP have changed a lot of these and made it online. It's very similar to the application. If you look at the hard copy of the application, you will see the similar sections. Section 1 being the basic contact information. Section 2 would be the general information, business profile, relationships, and dealings with other businesses. The 3 is majority owner information. You must have the 51% ownership. And whatever owners is included into the business, you must have the additional information. The most important about the application in here is the control. First, the operating control of the disadvantaged must be actively involved in all aspects of the business. The individual must show that basic decisions pertaining to the daily operations are made independently. The individual seeking certification must demonstrate experience and technical competence in the field in work seeking certification. The other one is called managerial control. Disadvantaged owners must have demonstrated ability to make independent and unilateral business decisions, to guide the future and destiny of the business. There's a lot of information that is collected here. There's financial data, there's a balance sheet, income statements, licenses, tax returns, even resumes, about the applicant's experience of work, technical competence. And also, this is also a way for you to explain and share the degree of operational and management control that you have in your business. And also, it also includes third-party agreements. Rent, lease agreements are reviewed to determine if the applicant's control of the company is limited and affected by a third party. So these applications are very similar, whether you're applying through a hard copy where you download the PDF or you log into the new system. The application process is very similar. The applicant is assigned to a certification analyst. And this is actually one of the things I mentioned to the client. Once a certification analyst is assigned to you, you can actually request to have your applications expedited if you are planning to submit a bid, and let them know, can you expedite my application? I have a bid. Of course, you have to provide all the documentation about that proposal or bid. The analyst conducts preliminary review and to make sure that there's no missing documents. And then if further clarification is needed, they'll send you a notification or an email. A site visit is scheduled, and this is probably toward the end when the determination is very close. They'll contact you to schedule a meeting. And the next item is analysts will conduct a final review of your records in its entirety, including your site visit, to make sure that you're eligible for the recommendation to be certified. And then the certification determination is complete. There's several layers. In VTA, we have 3 layers to approve your certification. So as I mentioned, you can do it online and you click on that link, or you can go to the CUCP website, click on this link above. It'll bring you to the website. There's a lot of information here. You can search for DBE. You can sign up for training in here and click find a certifying agency, because there's 8 certifying agencies in California. Normally, the one closest to your area will be the one processing your application. So in here, we have CalTrans, BART, SamTrans. So if you're located in Santa Clara County, you would click on VTA. If you're located in Alameda County, you would click on BART. But if it's outside this area, you would go to CalTrans and they will process your certification. So for example, if you are located in Sacramento, then it's more likely that you need to go to CalTrans. Okay, and the next thing, just like what I said, if you click on the search for certifying agencies, it will bring you down here. If you are located in the Bay Area, you would click here. And just like the one I showed you previously, instead of looking at the logos, you can click on their names. So BART is the San Francisco Bay Area Metro, Santa Clara VTA, and so this covers all of these counties. If it's outside of these counties, then it's more likely that you're going to be going to CalTrans. And if you want to, before you start your application, there's a lot of training available. And just click on training, and then you can attend one of the trainings. It doesn't go in detail about the actual DBE certification, but they cover mostly very similar process for the interstate certification. And before you get started, learn about the certification flow chart. You must meet the 6 requirements. as I mentioned, and also the categories. And this one takes 90 days. So again, if you mention that you'd like to have it expedited, just talk to your certifying reviewer, and they may or may not grant it, but at least they'll have that information. If you want to get a certification flowchart, you can also click on our website, and we have all this information also. Or contact me or any of the counselors, and we can assist you. And also, we have a checklist. This is one of the most important things that you should have. There's the required documents, and there's additional documents, for example, if you're a corporation. And also, these are available on our website. It's important that you have a complete package. Otherwise, it will delay your processing. And sometimes it may even be returned. Personal net worth. This was just updated recently, last year. This year, actually. Oh, no, last year. And so there's a new form. It's supposed to be a lot simpler, but there's a lot of information that it will be requiring you to submit. You have to have a supplemental form required. It has to be notarized. There's information about, individuals, property ownership, all kinds of accounts, tax interest, individual equity. So there's a lot of information. Your home is excluded, but if you have a vacation home, or if you have a boat, motorcycles, jewelry, anything that can be shared assets. Even if you have individual accounts, those have to be included. And sometimes I even got a question recently about the 529 student account. If you have access to it, even if penalties, if you don't use it, you're actually, that's your account. So you have to disclose that. And if you have any additional information that you require, just ask your reviewer, should I include this? Yes or no. The nice thing about the online system for the DBE application is each section that you complete, it'll tell you where you're 10% or 20% or 80% complete. So you know where you're at any given time. And right before they make the determination, and anytime you get an on-site interview request, it's almost you're like at the end. So it's the last part, and basically it's just to reaffirm everything that you had provided. Okay, so they're going to go and conduct a 1-hour interview. They're going to cover the history. How did you start your business? What kind of funding did you receive? Whether it came from you or another source. The second part is management. How do you manage the business from day to day? Who controls? Who hires? Who does the financial? Right? Who makes the decision whether to bid or not? Right? These are all aspects of your business that you do. The rent, the lease, and lastly, also marketing is a big part. Right? That's how you get your revenue. Do you have a marketing plan? Who developed that? Are you in control of it? And so on. So before the COVID, we used to go on site and visit your office, but that has changed with COVID-19. Everything now is done via Zoom or some other similar telecommunications application. They still do take photos. If they ask you what type of equipment, or what type of office do you have. And sometimes too, if you're working on a project, they may request information about your project, and maybe even ask you if you can go on a job site, right? So those are the things the interview will have. And if you want to prepare for it, you can always contact us. We can help you review it. But basically, this is just reaffirming what you have already provided in your application. Okay, interstate certification. I noticed that some of you are from out of state. So if you're already certified in your home state, you can apply to any state that you'd like to work. And it's a simpler process. You go through the same portal, the online web hosted system, but this time you would do an interstate certification. Each state varies in their determination, but normally the documents that you have completed and notarized, they will request a copy of that, including requesting a copy of the site interview from your certifying agency in your home state. So make sure you, if you're planning to apply to various states, to keep all your documents, and that will be requested. Even though it's 10 years, it goes back. So keep all those documents in place. Okay, this is the part that's really hard, the DBE program must comply with the federal regulation 49 CFR Part 26. For example, if your personal net worth exceeded 1.32, you will be denied on that basis. Okay, and they will cite the actual FAR regulations basing your denial. And when you receive this notification, you must submit an appeal, a written appeal, within 90 days of the date of the denial letter. Okay, and they will tell you exactly where to file your appeal, and they will process it. And if the USAT agrees, they'll remand it and say, go back and review this again. Okay, so if you're denial and you truly believe that they had made an error, go back and see if that will be granted. Your appeal will be granted. I think one of my experience I had with denials is we had a client who had several properties, and we did review of different various things like Zillow, Redfin, and also documentations of the purchase of the property, and which exceeded her PNW. But she had appealed, and she indicated that the property prices went down, and she had one of those, oh my gosh, I can't remember, that did an assessment the cost of her house, and sure enough, we reviewed it and we accepted it, and she won the appeal. She is now certified at DBE. So again, don't take it as last word. You can always appeal. Sometimes, there are certain facts that's not considered by the agency that you did not disclose. So those are good things. And again, any denial that you have will have to cite the FAR regulations. And if it was improperly implied, then it may be remanded. Okay, application tips. This is one of the things that I've learned, the applicant has the burden of proving that you are eligible for the program. Use the supporting documents list. Again, it's very important that you have a complete application, or sometimes it may delay the whole process. Okay. And if you have an opportunity, use the online system. It's highly recommended by the CUCP certifying members. They will still accept your hard copy, but it will delay the process because they have to re-enter it and upload it to the system. Don't forget to notarize the affidavit of certification. That's one of the things that people forget. They submit it and they forget to upload a notarized copy. Complete each section of the application. Don't leave it blank. For example, if you are a new business and you only have 1 year's tax and they're asking you for 3 years, write a declaration letter. It's stating that you do not have the tax requested because your business was new. It's only 1 year old. Or sometimes if it's not applicable, state it as not applicable. Okay. That's one of the biggest mistakes. Don't just assume that the reviewer understands. Include all the documentation requested. And also, in addition to your application, you have to have the PNW notarized. Okay. Since you're going there anyway, make sure you have both of them. Be responsive to reviewers' requests. Everybody has a really huge workload. So if you're not responsive to the request, it will delay your processing of your application. Even sometimes they may even return it because you're non-responsive. Okay. And on this on-site interview, be prepared to discuss all aspects of your business. Okay. Even if you tell them, okay, what do? First thing you do is you come to the office, you work in your computer, you look at your email, you review any proposals, or, you meet with your staff, you make decisions, you deposit checks, you review the financials, you meet with your accountants, right? So keep in mind, they're gonna look at your financial, they're gonna look at your history, your management, and your marketing. So, and after 1 hour, if the reviewer is satisfied, then they'll complete the determination and you're on your way to getting DBE certified. So that's really good news. Okay, benefits of certification. Certification is recognized by transit agencies and local agencies, because some of the local agencies are funded with FTA or FHWA funds. So for example, if they have a project that receives $1 of federal funds from FHWA, they must have a DBE program or a program goal. Okay. It expands your opportunities to participate on federally funded contracts. It's a new revenue stream. If you want to expand your business, get DBE certified. Prime contractors on large public works projects that has federal funds have DBE participation goal requirements. If they fail to meet the goal, they must demonstrate good faith effort. That means that they may or may not be awarded based on not being responsive to the DBE program requirements. Okay. The nice thing about this thing also is once you're certified, you are listed in the CUCP database so that any agency or prime contractors can look you up, and if they have a need, they will contact you. It also increases your opportunities to network at events, at pre-bids, and outreach events. So I would highly recommend that if you're DBE certified, make sure you include that in your capability statement. And if you have some space in your business cards, put in all your certification, whether you're DBE certified, small business certified, women-owned certified. It's a great opportunity and it's a great benefit if you meet the eligibility, and there's a lot of benefits to being certified DBE. Now you're certified. What do you do, right? Work with Norcal PTAC and let us help you. We can help you search for contracting opportunities. We can help you network with other firms, agencies by attending a webinar such as this. And you have an ability to also market your firm, because there's a lot of projects out there. You know, you've heard about the infrastructure project. Well, there's so much work out there, billions and billions of dollars, that's just waiting for a DBE certified firm to help them deliver their projects. Stay informed of upcoming opportunities. One of the things that we do is we provide you with bid match. And as James had mentioned, we can actually help you search for upcoming opportunities and get you bid notices to you. And we can also help you go through the CalTrans and CalEProcure websites, okay, to help you find upcoming contracting opportunities. So I think that's all I have. And as I mentioned, I would have really loved to have 3 or 4 hours of your time so we can go in great detail about the application of the DBE. But unfortunately, I can provide you only with an overview. So hopefully I did justice, and let's continue on. And I'm going to turn it over to James.
All right. Thanks, Liz. And whenever you want to launch the poll, make sense to you, just let me know.
Yes, let's take a poll, and let's do that while you're doing the upcoming events.
Okay. Just launched it right now. Yeah, I just want to let you know that this is the second part of a 3-part series for Women's Business Month. It was supposed to be, the next one was supposed to be in October. However, our presenter was delayed, and so we had to postpone it until November 18th. So if you were signed up for that, do take note of the date change. We obviously don't charge anything for our webinars, so you don't need a refund or anything, but if you're not able to make that, do take note. And if you are, switch it over on your schedule. So the next one is going to be on the WOSB, or the EDWOSB certification, Woman-Owned Small Business. That's a federal certification. So it'll be good information if you're interested. And then coming up, that says October 19th. That is in the past. Actually, you can time travel by going to our website and clicking on the resources page and going to the past webinars, and you can actually watch that. You can't ask live questions, but you can watch that. There's also, we have a series coming up in November for Veterans Small Business Week. We have a 3-part series. Let me just grab the screen here, Liz. So we have a 3-part series here. The first is on the 2nd, certifications for veteran-owned businesses. That's sort of a general overview. Then we've got one called Micro Awards, Gateway to DoD, Department of Defense Contracting. That's on Wednesday the 3rd. And then the following day, we have one with the Air Force, doing business with the Air Force. And we actually have some representatives from US Air Force that will be presenting. So do take a look at those. Like I said, they're always free to join from anyone, from anywhere. And we've got more events always in the pipeline coming up. So please do feel free to join any of those. And just a note, since we always get questions on this, Please enter your questions into the Q&A, not the chat. It's a lot easier to track in the Q&A. And we are recording this session, and the recording and the slides will be sent to everyone later today. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this outro poll. The question was, after seeing this presentation, are you interested in applying for DBE certification? 68%. So most of you said, yes, I already was, and now even more. A few of you, 5 of you, 20% said, this convinced me to give it a try. One of you didn't think it's going to be worth your effort after all of this, and a couple of you are still not sure. So that's pretty good. Now even more interested. That's a great outcome. So hopefully you got something out of it. All right, we have a good 10 minutes for question and answer. So go ahead and enter them in there. And just remember to keep your questions clear, brief, and specific to the DBE application. All right. And if we don't have time to get to everyone's questions, go ahead and email me. You can see my email on the screen right there. Let's go back to the questions tab here. So the first question comes from Shiva, is asking, is it possible to apply in California for certification in both California and Texas? Liz?
Oh, yes, of course. But again, you must be certified in your home state first. And once you're certified in your home state, then you can go and apply for the other state.
All right, great. Anonymous Teddy's asking, is there a minimum amount of time or work history that you must complete before starting the application process for a new business?
No, I even had a client who started after a month in business. So no.
Okay, great to know. Knocking them down. Aminata's asking, I'm certified with the federal government. Does it mean that I can only bid on the small business contract since I do not have any other certifications? Might not be a clear question because I'm not sure which certification Aminata is talking about.
You don't have to be certified to bid on a project.
Yeah.
But it's to your advantage to be certified because those programs are very specific to you to help you. So if there's like Cal Procure sometimes have a small business set-asides or small business goals. There's also programs for HubZone. So if you do qualify and your business is located in a HubZone area, there are specific programs for that. So no, you don't have to be certified in order to bid or submit a proposal. But it's your advantage.
Okay, we have a question about BidMatch. I'll answer that privately. Someone's asking about registration, I assume, for the webinar that was going to be the third webinar in this series, whether it follows up. We've actually never had to postpone a webinar before, not that we ever know. So this is our first time. We're not 100% sure, but based on what we can tell with Eventbrite, we can just change the date and it will notify everyone, and you'll have the opportunity to back out. Maybe Nina or Darlene know, but that appears to be the case, that you do not need to re-register as long as you can still make it.
That's correct.
Okay, great. Good to have more expertise on the call here. So first time for everything. Is the DBE primarily for transportation projects? Victor's asking.
It is mostly for transportation. For example, FAA, FTA, FHWA. So if those projects are funded by those agencies, then it's more likely, the program is set for transportation projects. But there's so many things. When I was with BTA, I have a flower shop, and she said, do you think I should even try to get DBE certified? And I said, well, any project that has $1 of federal funds, transportation, then they will count you toward your goal. So guess what? We had a lot of openings. We had a lot of celebration. BART to San Jose started, and She was given contracts because she was DBE certified or small business certified firm. Rather than going to 1-800-FLORIST, they went directly to her because she was local, she was a small business, and she was DBE certified. So it's to your advantage, you decide. And again, this program is meant for you. If you are eligible, apply.
Great. And I see questions pouring into the chat, and just a reminder again that we want questions to go in the Q&A. We can't track them in the chat, and with everything else, it gets complicated. Rochelle's asking, is denial a big concern? Should folks be concerned about denial after doing all that work?
Well, one of the things that you do is actually they go through a series of questions about your eligibility. And you will answer if you're eligible or not. If you are not, you don't even go through the application process. That's this online system. So, but if you felt that you were eligible and you continued on to the application process, and again, everything in the program is under CFR 49 CFR Part 26. You must be 51% owner. You must not exceed a personal net worth of 1.32 million. You must have control. You must be independent. So those are the reviews that's going to be conducted. And if they determine that you are eligible to be certified DBE, then they'll grant you. If you feel that they made a mistake, for example, the example I said is that, the determination of those other properties that the owner owned exceeded the 1.32, you can actually go back and say, I just had my house appraised. That's the word. I've been thinking about it. I just had my house appraised, and it appraised lower than what was determined in my determination. Then they can review it, right? You can appeal that, and the appeal may be granted. If the appeal is granted, then it'll be remanded back. So it's never the end. Just because you're denial doesn't mean it ends there. If you can justify that you actually meet the requirements, then yes, submit it. Oh, I can't hear you, James.
I've just been chatting and not classic muted. Rochelle said thank you. So thanks, Rochelle, for that excellent question. Andrea Calvin's asking, my business address is my home address. Will this hurt my application?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We have a lot of clients who their business is their home address. The only thing I recommend, though, is, don't use your personal phone. Have a separate phone, and don't use your personal email to receive notification. Okay, that's really important that you have a separate email, a separate phone, and also if you have a capability, have a website. But no, not at all.
Yeah, that's an important just sort of setting up business 101 is make sure to have a professional email address that doesn't say jameslikeskateboarding@gmail.com or something. Okay. We have one more question. Folks are welcome to, we got 3 more minutes, so we have time for maybe one more question after this. My company provides supplies. Will I be considered if I apply?
Of course. Supplies is a big part, believe it or not. I had a client because, rebar is so difficult to get. We searched all over the state of California, helping them find a DBE certified rebar supplier, and we could not find any. So the prime was able to find one from the state of Washington. She was a women-owned rebar supplier. That was probably the biggest purchase of supplies we had. It was over $49 million worth of rebar for the BART to San Jose project. So no, supplies, professional services, construction, those are all needed. You can get certified for commodities and supplies.
We have one more question here, and then I think I know the answer to this, but if your small business is an LLC or an LLP, are you eligible for DBE?
I am not familiar with LLP, but I believe LLC is. I can look that up and.
Limited liability company,
Yeah,
But what's the P, limited liability?
limited liability partnerships.
so that's mostly legal counsel and so on.
That's just the business entity type, how they're
Okay.
formed.
Yeah,
LLC is certainly the common.
yeah,
categorization.
LLC is very common, and so, they can look it up and I can help them with the application, but the application will actually guide them. And I believe LLP maybe, I'm thinking about legal counsel for some reason. Okay,
This is law practices LP.
yes.
BOI, a partnership. Yeah. And we have one more question here. Could a real estate company, investment company possibly be involved, or that might be a little?
Transportation agencies always have right-of-way purchases. So one of the ones that I'm thinking about that recently had some advertisement is the California High-Speed Rail. They required assistance with a real estate brokers to help them with their right-of-way.
So possibly, yes.
Yes.
All right, that's the end of the questions. Thank you so much to everyone. I put a link in the chat that links to a survey that you can fill out anonymously if you'd like, and just let us know what you felt about today's webinar. We're always curious to see what our participants thought, to hear from you, and to improve our services. Matters a lot to us and to our funder. So please go ahead and just take a moment to do that. You'll also be redirected there as you leave the webinar to a page with that link as well. Huge thanks to our partners at the WBC. And we're looking forward to our next webinar with Darlene and Nina, November 18th. And thanks to Liz for putting all of this together. And of course, to all of you, the participants you're why we do this. So we really appreciate it. And have a good
Thanks,
rest of your day.
James. Pleasure to be here.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
And one last word, if you're really considering about being DBE certified, apply to Norcal PTAC, okay? And looking forward to hearing from you guys.
Absolutely. And you can find your local PTAC if you're not in our service area right there on this link on the find your local PTAC. So thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.